Hey guys, welcome back to Live with RealiTEA with Trisha and Kiley on the Hantz show. Thanks everyone for joining us today. We are going to be spilling all of the tea on the latest spoilers in the Big Brother house. So if you're wanting to stay spoiler free this season, then you will need to catch us after the episode airs with all of the latest information. But if you're here for the spoilers and you're tuning in to hear what's been going on the feeds, what happened after last night's episode, what was missed that didn't make the cut, then you're in the right spot. Be sure to hit us with some comments as we go through the show with your questions, comments, concerns. Hit us with those questions. Hit us with a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe and like this video, so that way you will get the latest updates on whenever we go live every day at 12 o'clock. So we left off yesterday with talking about the safety suite, and we got to see that last night on the episode.
Yeah, so I thought it was really funny to see Memphis. We suspected that he threw it because we knew that he wasn't going to want to show where his true alliances were. But seeing him, first of all, when he comes in from the beginning and hops over like the first 10 beams, I laugh out loud because I was like, oh my gosh, Memphis. I mean, he cleared those first laser beams. But then when he was coming back through with his safety sphere and he just propped up and took a little nap, that was so funny.
Can we talk about how big the safety sphere was, first of all? Like,
Yeah.
that thing was huge. We see Nicole F come in, and I'm like, it's like so big. And then I'm like wondering, could they just like throw it over the lasers? Like, did they have to carry it through? I need the
Well,
rule breakdown.
I mean, I think that you probably could have thrown it, but the problem is it would have bounced back and hit the lasers because my husband said the same thing. He was like, "Why don't they just throw it?" But
Memphis
yeah.
could have just kept running through the lasers, like back and forth, back and forth, back and
Well,
forth.
that's what I thought he was gonna do whenever he said he was gonna throw it. I was like, okay, well, he's gonna, hit into the lasers. But no, I mean, Memphis really showed out because obviously we don't know how many times he might have hit them, but it looks like he went through it pretty cleanly and didn't even hit the hit the lasers at all, and could have probably easily won the competition. So, we got Enzo like tutting around that he's something real big and special, and I'm like, you beat two tiny girls that the ball was bigger than them, and you beat Memphis who took a nap in the middle. So congratulations.
He was really feeling the cat vibes. He felt like he was nimble. He was really feeling himself after that comp.
Yeah, for real.
Go Enzo. So then after that, or the very before that, even if we go back a little bit, Nicole F, and we get to see the Nicole F and Janelle fight, which I don't think that they showed all of it. The feeds cut, so when we talked about this a few episodes ago on our show, the feeds cut whenever this fight happened, so we didn't get to see it all. And I also don't think we got to see it all on the show last night. But whenever they're picking have-nots, so how it works this season is every person that is a have-not gets to choose an incoming have-not. And so, David kind of musters around and people start volunteering because we know that people are against Janelle. They start volunteering because these people are going to be in the have-not room with her. Enzo volunteers or David, and anyways, it gets to Nicole F, and she makes the comment of, well, I'm going to pick someone who hasn't been a have-not yet and who can't keep my name out of their mouth, Janelle.
I mean, I was genuinely shocked that she had the nerves to say it. And I'm really, really proud of Janelle for not popping off and just murdering this little girl because she looked like she
Earrings
was
off.
going to.
She's about
Yeah.
to. She's about to get her.
Yeah, she was about ready to throw down. But you saw it. You saw it on Janelle. She did. She kind of threw her hair behind her shoulder. She was ready to go. But she restrained and did not go off on Nicole. We're pretty certain that there were more comments and the little tiff that they showed because this is where we got Janelle saying, whiny, whiny, whiny. And that's pretty accurate for Nicole. Whether you like her or not, that is what she is. She's whiny. She's hard to listen to with her nasally voice. And Janelle is just giving it to us in the DR and letting us know how done she is with Nicole. And now Nicole, who had the courage to step up and say something first, is so worried that after the veto ceremony today and the nominations are locked in, that Janelle is going to go off on her and make her life a living hell. I'm like, girl, you had the energy to come for Janelle first. So what are you so concerned with? If you've got that energy, then keep it up.
Yeah. And the thing is this is just like a made up feud in Nicole F's head that has turned into a real feud because of her comments about Janelle constantly happening. So totally warranted. And honestly, Nicole F, if Janelle decides to blow up on you before she goes out of the house, then sorry, girl.
You deserve it.
Yeah. So after we see the blow up, we go into the safety suite comp. Memphis is taking a nap. He's chilling. Enzo wins the safety suite comp. And, we get to see a lot of DRs with Davon about wanting to be safe. She doesn't care about the safety. She wants the costume.
Right. She says she doesn't care about the safety, but I mean, let's be honest. Anytime that you're safe, that's obviously going to be a good thing. But for whatever reason, Enzo decides to save Christmas. And I like where, I can't remember who it was, but someone said, "Oh, Christmas, you've been safe 2 weeks in a row. That must be nice." And I was like,
Bailey
yes.
said that.
Yeah, I was like, okay, Bailey, that is the truth because that's going to put a target on Christmas. I am surprised that Christmas is in a pretty good position this season and winning the comp and then having safety, that's going to draw a few people's attention to her. But Davon is pissed because she thought that Enzo was going to save her. And they're supposed to be in this Slick Six alliance together. So she's just a little confused as to why he did not save her and save Christmas. But it makes the guys in the alliance, especially Tyler, think, okay, well, if we're supposed to be in an alliance together, then you don't trust me if you're that concerned with being safe. Well,
yeah.
Hell no, I wouldn't trust you either. So you can't blame her.
Yeah. No, I mean, she definitely wants the safety, needs the safety, but I really like her ploy of claiming she wants the costume.
Right.
Did they show the costume on the episode? I can't remember.
No, they don't show it. So I guess we'll see it in the next episode.
Well, no worries, guys, because we are seeing it all over the feed. So if you're wondering what Christmas's punishment is, we said it yesterday on our show. It's that she gets to have star babies.
And yesterday she had one star baby, and overnight it exploded, and she now has 9, count them, 9 star babies, putting Octomom to shame because Christmas is doing it with 9. And she almost can't even get out of the bed because she has to take her babies everywhere she goes, or she has to have someone to babysit them. And this punishment went from, okay, that's not that big of a deal, to pretty brutal overnight because every time the Big Brother people want her to do it, she's got to wake up and feed them and change them and sing to them and take them for walks. And the walks are like 50 laps around the yard. And she has to tell them stories. And it's gotten out of control. She's got a lot of babies.
She has a lot of babies. And this little pink one up against the wall, I mean, he looks like a little pissed baby.
Yeah, he's mad. He was like, I think that's the original one. And he's like, what the heck? It was just me and how I got 8 siblings. I mean, the one up against Christmas looks as happy as he can be, but
he's all winky.
yeah, but this Mr. Pink Starfish over here is pissed.
I want to know who at CBS thought of this idea, and they were like, they see these star pillows. Let's buy these star pillows and put some little felt faces on it and total punishment.
Yeah, and it's funny because she does have to pretend feed them, and they've got like guacamole on them and all kinds of stuff. Her poor little babies are taking a beating.
Oh, so gross. So gross. I would hate this punishment. I would rather have the Ian punishment, the Janelle punishment. I mean, the Janelle
Janelle's was
punishment
easy.
compared to this, yeah, like all she had to do is wear the star costume. I mean, Nicole F thought it was a huge deal, but
Right. But yeah, no, Janelle's was easy and it's gotten progressively harder each time.
yeah. Oh, poor Christmas. All
Yeah.
right. So as we move into the feeds, a little more strategy talk. Nicole wants to be HOH next week.
Uh-huh. So she's talking with Danny and some of the other girls, and she's letting them know to throw the HOH comp to her. There is some talk that maybe Janelle's going to be safe, and so I think Nicole wants to be the one to take out Janelle in the event that she stays in the house. And so she's convincing the girls to throw the HOH to her so that she can make the nominations and either take out Janelle or take out Kaysar. She doesn't care, but she wants to be the one to put the final nail in the Jacer coffin. And I don't know. I don't know if the other girls are actually going to do it. Some of them, it would be wise to not show their cards, but Nicole wants it. So we'll see if that's something they're willing to do. I think from like Bailey and Davon's standpoint, they they think it's smarter to play the middle and to throw it. I don't think that's necessarily a good idea for them. They are being mentioned a lot more and they're being associated together and also just having some mistrust in their alliances. So I don't think that it's in their best interest to throw it. I think if they can win it, they should gun for it.
Yeah, Nicole has mentioned that if she, does win HOH, she's going to nominate whoever stays, so Kaysar or Janelle, and then and she wants to put up Bailey next to that person,
Yeah.
and
And
wants one of them to go.
Nicole's worried that the house is going to keep Janelle because they know Janelle is against her and that Janelle's going to do their dirty work and come for her. So Nicole is worried about it, but we know that Janelle has said that if she stays, she's not even going after Nicole. She's going after the floaters. And so Kevin, David, those are the type of people that would need to be concerned and actually not really Nicole. I mean, I'm sure she would keep Nicole as like a renom option, but really Nicole's okay this 1 week if Janelle stays.
Yeah, Nicole doesn't not give an. I mean, Janelle doesn't legit give zero F's about Nicole. Like, she doesn't feel threatened by this girl at all, but Nicole feels the most threatened by Janelle.
Mm-hmm. We do get some talk with Kaysar and Cody, and Kaysar pleads with Cody about, possibly using the veto to save one of them and if they can rebuild their relationship and have some trust moving forward. We do see Janelle and Kaysar both making pitches to stay. They're not going to campaign against each other, but they are campaigning in if I stay, this is what I can do for you, and that type of situation. So Kaysar is trying to throw that Hail Mary to keep both of them in the house, but it doesn't go over very well, and neither Cody nor Tyler are receptive to it.
Yeah, they're just kind of listening to what he's saying, but it's not. It isn't. It's not budging their opinion, no matter what.
Right. And Danny and Janelle have a sit down conversation, which is probably long overdue because these two were supposed to be friends. And so it's really nice. You get them, they go into the key room, they have a really long conversation, trying to figure out where their relationship got off track because they are friends outside of the house. And Janelle tells Danny, I would never come after you. I would never nominate you. I would never vote you out. And Danny's like, well, I just heard that you were coming after us, and so that's what put me against you. And it seems like, okay, maybe they're going to reconcile. Like, this is a really good step for Janelle because to have Danny's vote would be really helpful. But continuing with the theme of the season, as soon as their conversation is over, Danny runs out of the room and spills everything to Cody, Tyler, and Nicole. So it's not a genuine reconcile.
No, which of course this seems to be a pattern in the BB house with everything that happens outside of that big alliance. It's like Danny or Nicole or Ian's even done it. They hear these conversations and they go straight to the larger group and tell everyone.
Yeah.
So there's no budging here. What's going to be interesting is whenever they get out Janelle and they get these people out of their that are not in their alliance out, and then who is going to crumble first?
Who's going to turn on who first out
Right.
of that bigger group? That's what's going to be interesting because it's coming, and historically it comes sooner than later. And very rarely do you see these groups getting all the way to the end together. And there's so much mistrust between them. It's going to happen. It's just, a matter of time. Who's going to turn first? After this conversation that Janelle and Danny have, Janelle is talking with Bailey and she's going over who she thinks she needs to get in order to stay. And Janelle says that she thinks that she really needs to have Danny's vote. And this is a huge misstep in Janelle's game. She is completely wrong because Danny's not going to vote for her. And so she's thinking that she can get the girls' votes and that's how she's going to stay because hopefully the girls don't want another girl to leave. But it's the guys. If she's able to stay, she's going to have to get the guys' votes because the guys think that she'll go after the girls. So she's a little misguided in who she needs to be campaigning to.
Yeah. I mean, and the guys, like we said yesterday during our show, the guys are thinking, like, do we really want to send out another female? And if Janelle could just go to them and hit that point home, I mean, she might actually have a chance.
Right. Bailey is really starting to figure out how all of these things are lining up. And she sees that, like, there's this group of 6 and that Danny has Tyler and Cody has Enzo and Nicole has Ian, and she's starting to see these themes of everybody kind of having a duo. And these are people that she's supposed to be working with, but they all have their side alliances, and their side alliances aren't in danger of going home, but hers is. And so Bailey is just starting to really question everything. She brings up the fact that they're going to be sending home another female. She brings up that Janelle and her are close and it would be better for her game for Janelle to stay. But unfortunately, she's saying these things to the people in her alliance, Danny, Cody, Tyler, Enzo, and they don't have her best interest in mind because she's at the bottom of their totem pole. So they don't really care that her side alliance is going to go out. They're only concerned with what's keeping really the 3 or 4 of them safe.
Yeah. And as soon as Bailey walks out of that room, they all just talk. They pretty much, Danny just goes on a rant about her gameplay, about how she's loyal to Janelle. She isn't loyal to them. They need to watch out for her. And it's just not.
Exhausting.
It's not. So Danny's now ratted out Janelle. She's venting and ratting about Bailey. And I mean, this is frustrating to see. We came into this game with high hopes about Danny. We know that Danny is a Janelle fan. And we also know she loves this game. It's so frustrating to see her play this way.
She's playing Nicole's game. Like, it's fine if if she's friends with Nicole, and even if she wants to work with Nicole, but I just want to see her play Danny's game and not Nicole's game.
Yeah.
And so it's unfortunate because that's the path it's heading down.
Yeah.
And just, the guys aren't coming and spilling every conversation that they have. And I don't know why the females in this alliance think that they need to tell every single conversation that they have with the guys.
It baffles me because that happens every single time. They just even hear a conversation. I mean, we saw on the episode last night, they aired the piece about Danny like catching this conversation with Davon and Janelle and them, and then she immediately runs and goes and tells. I mean, and this is literally what's happening like every day on the feeds, multiple times a day.
Every conversation that is had gets turned around as soon as it's over.
But if
So,
Tyler hears a conversation, like he isn't going and like, okay, group, let's come together, let's have a conference, let's meet, and let me fill you in on what I heard.
yeah.
That it is frustrating. We also know that Janelle has conversations, I think, with Bailey, where she thinks getting, or maybe Kaysar, she thinks getting with Danny is a good point for her and will help her move forward in this game.
Yeah.
Which
But
sucks.
yeah, that sucks.
So Janelle, again, maybe she's playing a little naive because she's tried to help Nicole Anthony and she's tried to help Keisha and she has, tried to reconcile with Danny and now Danny's not actually reconciled with her. And I think Janelle's going to be really disappointed when she gets out of this house and sees what's happened.
Right. At least her and Kaysar are friendship goals and true to each other.
Yeah.
Um,
But we're not the only ones that are pro Janelle here. We have a wall yeller.
yeah, yesterday the feeds go down. They went down for over an hour because there was somebody yelling things over the wall. The person is on Twitter, and I think they said that they yelled something to the effect of F Nicole, get her out, or something pro Janelle. And Janelle and Cody do hear it. And Janelle is saying to Bailey, she's like, they still want me in this house, they being America. And I'm like, yes, fight, Janelle. We all want you there. Do you think there's any chance? Okay, we know that Keisha and Nicole are home, but there's nothing that says they have to start a battle back with the first four people. I mean, why can't they start a battle back with the third person that gets voted out? So do you think there's any chance that we're going to see Janelle be sequestered with the opportunity to go back in?
If CBS gives any shits about the opinion of America, yes, we will see this battle back happen starting this eviction.
Right.
So waiting on Janelle to walk out there in her Coco Chanel mask and and Julie to be like, well, Janelle, I have some good news for you.
You're not out of the game.
That's what I can't wait to hear Julie sign off to be this week.
Yeah, that's what we need. The big group is also thinking that, yesterday we talked about there was a chance maybe Janelle's going to stay. As of this morning, it does not look like she is going to have the numbers because the House is convinced that there's going to be an America's vote next week and that Janelle will get it and that Kaysar's not. I'm like, newsflash, people, I promise you that it doesn't matter which one of them stays. America is going to vote for the other one to get the power.
Mm-hmm.
You are very, very much underestimating the BB fandom if you think that they're not pro Jacer as a group.
Right.
So it doesn't matter which one stays, the other one is going to get the power if there's an America's vote next week.
Yeah. Yeah, the only person I could think that would be in the running other than Janelle or Kaysar would be Tyler, just because anyone who doesn't keep up with the feeds and, a casual, those people tend to be huge Tyler fans. I mean, he had a huge fandom when he left his season, and it's a cult of people. So
Yeah.
I think he would be the biggest competition for an America's Favorite type prize these upcoming weeks. But yeah, spilling the tea followers, our fellow teas out there, please put in the vote. We'll be sure to link it whenever this comes out. We'll be sure to give lots of coverage.
Yes. And something else that I thought was interesting from last night in the Twitter world is Angela commented that she is pissed that CBS did not show Tyler reading her letter and that they showed the bidet segment. I'm like, Angela, you had an entire season, girl. You were boring as hell. We don't care to hear your letter to Tyler, but that bidet segment was very funny. And hearing Enzo talking about it squirting everywhere, we would much rather hear about that than to hear your love letter to Tyler.
Seriously.
I mean, I know from a personal level, she would have liked to have gotten to see that because the feeds were down when he got his HOH room, but we don't care to see it. That's not interesting to us. So no thanks, Angela.
You know what you said, like.
Right. And you know that Tyler liked the letter. Y'all are going to get out and be in love. That's great. But we're here for the entertainment, and your letter would not have been entertaining because you're boring.
At first, when you said that, I thought when you said, and we did hear from Angela that she's pissed, I thought you were talking about Angela Rockstar at first. And I was like, oh, was it her daughter's birthday?
No. Angela.
Angela Robbins. Okay, got it.
Yeah.
Yeah, the bidet segment, like, can we just hit on that for a second? We know that's not really a spoiler because it was shown on the episode, but like, Cody, we freaking agree with you. Like, what is Enzo thinking? Like, if that is spraying all over the door, all over the room, like, I'm pissed too.
Yes, that is so funny.
Oh, Enzo, you little sheltered thing.
But just FYI, anytime you go to sit on a toilet seat, you should probably look to see if there's any type of
liquid
on it and be aware before you sit.
Yes, please be a sweetie and wipe the CD, folks. All right, so speaking of HOH reign, so we do get a few conversations about if I win HOH next week or if I win HOH. So Danny says if she were to win HOH next week, that she would put up David because he's pointless.
Well, yes, I agree. I mean, David seems like a super sweet guy, but I think he is just there to make it to jury and be like, look, people, I can play Big Brother. But these people are just not voting you out because you're no threat to them.
Does Davon come back next season and David write her a letter for her HOH and get pissed that it didn't get shown?
Yeah, and we have a comment here and it says she clearly wrote the letter for it to be read on TV. I agree. Like, you know what it said. You know that he enjoyed getting his letter. Like that's obvious. We don't need you on BB All Stars this year, Angela. You're not that interesting. Thank you.
Literally, if y'all follow Angela, which we're not Angela haters, just to be clear, but Homegirl is like everything Tyler does, it is shared to his social media. It's shared to her social media. If he mentions her on the feeds, like if you want to follow their love story, you follow their Instagram. I think it's like at Tyler Crispin 22 and at Angela _Remens. Go check them out because you can get it all on there if you're very interested.
Yeah.
All right. Another more HOH talk is Bailey says if when the HOH comp gets here, she plans to throw it to Kaysar.
Yes. So this is Bailey and Davon's plan is if at all possible, they're going to throw it to Kaysar. And I am here for this. And that's what we need.
In addition to this conversation, they also think that Tyler is really going to want to work with Bailey and Davon to redeem himself from his last season.
Yes, which wrong. Bailey has the blinders on with Tyler. I do think Tyler, for the most part, will try to look out for Bailey, but it's not ride or die. He doesn't care that much about BB20. So if she thinks that is going to be the deciding factor, she is mistaken because his loyalty is not to her. Not ultimately.
If Kaysar wins HOH next week, who's he putting up?
I mean, I think Kaysar is going to go for it, and he's going to put up probably Cody and Tyler, or Cody and Danny, or Cody Nicole. I think Cody's for sure going up. Kaysar definitely felt that first week that Cody was gunning for him, not necessarily Janelle, and so there's no way that Cody's not seeing the block in a Kaysar HOH.
Yeah, we can all hope for a Kaysar HOH. I hope that the America's gift to the house guests is that we pick a player who we want to win HOH, and they do.
Yeah, we get to decide the HOH. Wouldn't that be great?
Oh, God. All right. Well, that brings us to our tweet of the day.
Tweet.
Which we have two tweets, but they are related. So we are going to pop these up. So our first tweet comes from our girl, Jessica Nixon, who says, oh, sorry, my screen went crazy. Okay. As someone who actually considers Janelle a friend, I'd like to say that she's been nothing but incredibly kind to me. And yes, she's just as fabulous outside the game. Just wanted to set the record straight.
Yeah, and we're seeing a lot of other Big Brother house guests commenting on it and saying, I agree with this. She's definitely great. And surprisingly, because we don't genuinely agree with most of the things that comes out of this next person's mouth, Paulie Calafiore, Cody's little brother, decides as someone who is not Janelle's friend, but loves a badass who gives 0 Fs, I completely agree. And that's pretty great. Everybody is here as a Janelle stan.
And he's retweeting Swaggy, who says, as someone who is also Janelle's friend, I completely agree. And it's like a string of these like retweets and comment and comment and comment. And yeah, the Janelle fandom is rock on.
Wide reaching.
Yes. So I'm even gonna go out on a limb and say that Paulie might have been the yeller.
Yeah, maybe he's the one. So maybe Big Brother casted the wrong Calafiore brother. I wouldn't have thought that, but maybe Polly would have gotten in there and worked with Janelle.
Maybe so. But to give you guys a little tea, if you don't keep up, Paulie apparently did not pass his psych eval for the challenge, and I'm sure that bled into a reason for him not being on Big Brother, because we all know he would have been way more entertaining than Cody. Like, Cody's good to look at, but Homeboy is boring.
Yeah, and Paulie is crazy.
Crazy. He's been crazy on he's entertainment gold, like finding him. Did they find Cody first or Paulie first?
Yeah, no. Cody was on first, and then Paulie moved into the challenge. And
yeah.
I mean, Paulie definitely, his realm is better fit for the challenge because he's psycho, which fits.
Yeah.
But yeah, he may have been a little too psycho last season because he didn't pass the psych eval to get into the challenge. And I feel like that bar's got to be pretty low because
we see some crazy shit on there. I know a lot of people have come over from the challenge. Like, we know a lot of people that have come over from the challenge to watch Big Brother because there's nothing else on TV. And they're like, this shit is boring because it's just not as chaotic as the challenge house.
Right. I think anybody that is fans of like Big Brother, The Challenge, and Survivor can appreciate them all three for their different aspects. But yeah, if you come over from just watching the challenge, because we do run this draft that we've talked about, and I mean, we've got like over 200 people playing in our draft, and we've brought a lot of people over from our challenge draft, and they're watching Big Brother for the first time since there's nothing on TV, and they're like, what is this? Like, why is this girl running around in a star costume? Why is this guy an alien? What is
Yeah, they don't do costumes or anything like that on the challenge. They also have alcohol like at their disposal, so you could just really imagine
the chaos.
And I mean, they're all Paulie Calafiores in the house. Like, they're all hotheads, ready to blow up any moment. So, I mean, think of like Davon is really one of the calmer people in the challenge house, if that tells you guys anything.
Yeah. Somebody says, Cody says, like. Yeah, if you look at, Russell posted a video on the YouTube channel, and it's a 45-second clip of Cody, and he says the word like 95 times. Like every other word, he says like
times. I know. And also Cody is going to like acting school or something. So I don't understand.
He's been in a movie. He's in a movie that's on Netflix. So I don't know about that. I'm
gonna have to go watch it to see if he's.
But he may be able to read a script. He just can't have a free conversation without saying the word like.
Maybe so. Davon needs to work with him.
I'm pretty certain this is a problem I had when I was a teenager because my dad was telling me. He said, "Don't say the word like anymore." So,
Get rid of that.
don't do that. It's not a good look.
It's the millennial version of instead of we say like as a connector word, but when you
Yeah.
say it every other word on national television on the only show that is on right now,
It's annoying.
hey CBS, like edit that out, please. Thanks. We always talk to CBS on this show like they actually pay attention to us, but really what we're hoping is that the people, our loyal followers of the show, will just slide into CBS's DMs and give them feedback. That's all.
Yeah, just let them know. Let them know our thoughts. We felt that they're important, so
We feel like our thoughts are superior. All right, and then the final thing that happens in the feeds that's really game related is is talking about the veto. So the power veto ceremony is going to happen today on the feeds. So we'll see where that goes. We don't think it's going to go anywhere, but Kaysar's going to try. He campaigns to Tyler saying like it would be beneficial for Cody to use the veto. He doesn't care if it's on him or Janelle. So just use it on one of them. And Tyler's like, no, because then I have to put someone else up.
and this is going to cause a ruckus, and I don't want to do that. And Kaysar even says, well, maybe we can work together going forward. And Tyler straight up tells him, Mister, I can't turn down an alliance. Deals, deals, deals. Tells Kaysar that he doesn't think he can be in an alliance with him because anyone that aligns with Kaysar is in a bad position. So, womp womp.
Yeah, so that went nowhere. So the power veto ceremony will happen today. Cody won the power veto, so we'll probably see it not get used. How exciting. It's going to be a great day on the feeds, y'all. So we'll bring you all of the tea tomorrow with everything that does happen. The power veto gets used. That's going to be real crazy. But there'll be continuing drama with Janelle and Nicole F, Janelle and Danny, her continuing to turn up the campaign heat. So as we get closer to the Thursday eviction, it's going to be Janelle really pushing. And I think after this veto is used today, or veto ceremony is not used today, we'll really see the claws come out because Janelle's not going to give an F about what happens.
Yep.
So we'll see. We will see what happens. We'll bring everyone that tomorrow on same time, same place, 12 o'clock here on the Wrestle Hand Show. We'll be bringing you all of the latest tea. In the meantime, you can check out our Instagram and Twitter at RealiTEA, RealiTEA _TRHS, where we will provide updates, also give you notifications of when we're live on there as well, interact with you guys. But otherwise, you can drop your comments on the comments here on YouTube. Hit us with a thumbs up. Ask us your questions. Tell us your thoughts on not only our episode, but also what's happening in the feeds and your opinions of like, Cody. So drop that below, and we will see everyone again tomorrow at 12 o'clock Central Standard Time. Cheers to that. Bye, guys.
Bye.